Everyone, my name good morning, everyone. My name is Yina Ho, and today I will be walking you through my thesis, causal structure discovery for explaining important features in machine learning. Before we dive in, I would like to thank all the committee members for their time and guidance. Follow the outline of this presentation. First, I will share the domain and some background information based on the current literature. And then from there, I will summarize the problems in the literature aligned with our work. Following that, I will discuss our proposed research objectives to reduce the gap in the literature. Based on the objectives, I will go over results and discuss future work. Finally, I will share the summary of the results. Before we dive into causal study, I would like to first discuss the data of interest for this research. The thesis focus on the structure, the tabular data, which consists of rows and columns in a diverse feature space. Tabular data sets can consist of different type of different data types. Here is an example of a data set with one single data type, where all features are all numerical, and another example could be where all the features are categorical. And another example would be where all features are, and another scenario could be a data set with multi data types, which is referred to as a mixed data type. So tabular data is used for predictive modeling in many domains like finance, agriculture, education, healthcare, and so on. Let's take health domain as an example. It's common to have tabular data sets containing patients' medical tests and their diseases outcomes. From row, we can get information for patients. From column, we can learn the relationship between features. How can we learn this relationship? Practitioners usually rely on machine learning and the statistical method. So beginning with the statistical correlation method, which is widely used in clinical and biomedical research to find associations. Uh, However, statistical correlation is questioned because correlation does not mean causation. So we provide several examples here. The first is a classical example where we can see more ice cream sales are correlated with more drawings. However, this is not caused because both of them happen in summer. And here is another example that shows the number of ash tree at home correlates with lung cancer, but it's ash tree that cause cancer. So because of this kind of misleading, we must to be careful in research for clinical domain. And also currently, machine learning models try to learn patterns from input variables to predict outcomes. In the process, the model also provides variable importance scores. But an important question rises, are these variables are important for prediction, also the ones that are causal in reality? However, we have causality reviews directional relationship between variables, and it will provide better explainability of predictor and models. This is where the study of causal structure discovery comes in, which is the process of inferring the underlying causal relationships between variables from observed data. A directed acyclic graph helps these models to have a better explanation for the causal relationship. This is an example of that, and also some uh, models will provide weights for each edge, which known as causal strengths. If we know causal strengths, it's easier for us to have a clear understanding of how much causal side features will contribute to the effect side features. If we fully rely on the directional machine learning prediction, it's hard to understand within mixed type clinic variables which of them really cause heart failure, or some of the variables are actually impacted by heart failure. So, CSD models can help us to address these cancers, but we mentioned before, tabular data has a mixed data type. However, most CSD model assume data is purely continuous or discrete variables. We need to consider whether the model can handle mixed type data for the first point. Uh, and also this point can be considered as one of the main gap in CSD models. And also, we want to provide more detailed knowledge about causal relationships. So we want the model to provide the causal strengths. And for the last one, in the real-world situation, relationships between features are too complicated to explain only in linear assumption. So we want model to have a nonlinear relationship assumption to face a more complex situation. And considering all these 3 points, we made this table to summarize some popular CSC models. And for first PC, FCI, and JES model, they cannot fit to these 3 points we cared about. And also for two other model, Notiers and P and direct link game, they cannot handle mixed data type, but both of these models provide causal strengths along with causal directions. And since Notier's MLP has assumption of nonlinear causal relationship, it's most commonly used in real-world data sets. Even though there are more recently models that can handle mixed data, which shown as the last three. HCM can handle mixed type data, but doesn't provide causal strengths and it doesn't fit the nonlinear assumption. And another two model notiers, M and PC notiers, can handle mixed type data and provides causal strengths, but doesn't cover nonlinear relationships. So we can say there is not a model which can cover all 3 points we cared about. For the contribution of this thesis are as following. First, from the methodological perspective, we proposed a novel CSC modeling framework for mixed data type to convert binary diseases outcome to continuous likelihood score. In this way, CSC models designed for continuous variables can also work. And also in this study, we collected and curated real-world EHR datasets for heart failure classification task. And at the end, our study answered the following three research questions. First, how does a linear CSD model different from a nonlinear CSD model? And are variables correlated with heart failure diagnosis also causal variables? And the last question is, are important variables from machine learning prediction also causal variables? With these questions, let's move to objective one on causal structure discovery in diseases label classification. And the task one is about collect and curate real-world EHR data for heart failure classification. Let's see a review how we extract and curated real-world EHR dataset from all of us research program, which has more than 1 million patients real-world EHR records. First, we selected heart failure and cardiovascular diseases based on the International Classification of Diseases Worcester code. Second, according to other heart failure-related research study, we select 33 medical features out of more than 200 medical measurements. And in third step, we keep medical records whose date is the closest to the disease's diagnosis date, and we keep same unit for all these clinical variables, and we clean outliers of these variables. Finally, we get the curated dataset for heart failure and non-cardiovascular diseases. This table summarizes two groups. For male groups, it has over 7,000 patients with 33 features and 0.39 missing rate, and the class ratio is 1.9 versus 1. For female dataset, it has around 15,000 patients with 33 features, 0.61 missing rate, and the class ratio is 1 versus 3.18. Now let's move to task 2. We provide a new computational framework to let current model handle datasets with continuous features and binary output. Before details about our work framework, I would like to introduce the audience with two most commonly used CSE models by practitioners. First, I will talk about the direct lingam, which is designed based on linear relationship assumption. Here we have an example of a causal structure in this figure. Lingam assumes that for each variable is generated as linear combination of its causal features and additional noise, which can show in the following equation. And when we minimizing the kernel-based mutual information, it helps model to identify and remove the effect of the most independent variable at each step. Finally, we learned the following that from the direct lingam model. We also consider a nonlinear model use MLP to convert a nonlinear relationship within data. They use the first layer weights of a MLP model as a weighted adjacency matrix to represent the structure of a sparse stack. And here W is a causal matrix, and HW is their proposed new optimized function to ensure that the graph does not have any cycle. And with this all three parts of loss function, it helps with finding DAG of input data. Even though these two models are mostly common used by researchers, but they are regression models which do not support discrete or binary variables. To address this limitation of direct lingam and no-tiers MLP model, we propose our computational framework. We have our continuous medical features and binary class label of heart failure. We pass data into an MLP model. The raw output is passed through a sigmoid active function. This transfers the output into a value between 0 and 1, which is the likelihood score. The model is trained using the class-weighted binary cross entropy loss to optimize the MLP. Based on the true label and likelihood score, we remove the misclassified samples, get the final data we will use for CSD models, and get the final causal results. Also, we calculate the correlation between medical variables and likelihood score to get feature correlation. We also applied machine learning models to get feature importance score for the following analysis. But in the objective 1, we will just focus on CSD models. After our framework, we use distribution plot to show the performance of changing binary labels to likelihood score for both male and female datasets. The distribution becomes more smooth and continuous. The orange color in the second figure represents the sample counts after dropping the misclassified ones. But how we choose the best MLP structure, we ran 8 different ablation studies on heart failure male datasets. For our first 5 experiments, we go from 2 layers MLP to 5 layers MLP with and without dropout. The first structure shows the lowest training time, lowest number of epochs for model to reach 90% accuracy and achieve the highest accuracy. Compared with other 3 deeper architecture, the number of parameter is lowest for the selected architecture from the first step. Let's move to the results part more and deeper. And we will show the DAG from direct Lingam model for male dataset. For male datasets, total 26 features show causal relation. Nine cause heart failure and 17 features are effect of heart failure. And for female dataset, total 29 features show causal relation. 18 features cause heart failure. 11 features are effect of heart failure. For both of them, age appears as effect feature, which is incorrect based on the common knowledge. But for no-tiers MLP, DAG for male dataset, total 23 features showing the DAG. 12 features cause heart failure, 11 are effect of heart failure. Also for female dataset, total 29 features showing the DAG, 11 features are heart failure, and 18 features are effect of heart failure. For both DAG, age appear uh, for both DAG, age is the most significant features. Also showing the medical literature study and multiple research papers mention that age is a primary driver of heart failure. Here we just cite one of them. And also our model found that for both heart failure dataset, weight is causal features, and the obesity may result in heart failure by inducing changes. Also, it has some medical paper to support this point. So, when we move to effect side in patients with heart failure, reduce the cardiac output, leading to increased creatinine levels and decrease blood neural nitrogen level. And in a study of hemoglobin, heart failure can cause lower hemoglobin through different mechanisms. Now let's move to Objective 2, where we provide validation of causal explainability of important features in machine learning. In Task 1, I will introduce our proposed evaluation framework. In our proposed evaluation framework for gradient boosting tree and logistic regression, we can get the feature importance score and also their rank. After calculating pure Then correlation between variables and likelihood score, we can get the correlation coefficient and also its rank. Also from both no-tiers and direct Lingam, we get the causal strength and generate rank table for cause features and effect features. After having all the rank, we calculate another Spearman correlation between them for the following analysis. Let's go through the details about machine learning models we mentioned before. We use 10 by 2 nested cross validation for GPT and the logistic regression model for our outer loop. The full dataset is divided into 10 folds. Each fold will be test part for the model. For the inner loop, other 9 chain folds are separated into chain folds and validation fold to update the hyperparameters. Each 10 folds will give a feature importance score. We calculate the average of them and get the final importance rank. First, let's focus on the results of correlated variables from heart failure male dataset. To answer this question, correlated variables also causal. From the table, we can see that from positive correlation side, age red distribution weights, glucose and weights are causal features, blood neuronitrogen and creatinine are effect features. From the negative correlation, 3 out of 6 features are effect features. Only the total protein feature is the causal variables. And we need to mention that HCT and RBC, these two features are not cause or effect variables. Continue us to see female variables correlation. Top positive correlated variables does not change much compared with male. Only ALP shows up as top correlated uh, variables. Same for the negative correlation, only CL and PLT are new. Considering the causality, 3 out of 7 positive related variables are causal. The rest of them are effect variables, which shows different pattern with male dataset. Also, 3 out of 7 negative correlated features are causal. 3 of them are effect, and one RBC, which also shown in male dataset didn't show any cause and effect relationships. So we can't see correlated variables are always causal variables. It may be also from the effect side, or they do not have any causal or effect relationships. We also get Spearman correlation between causal strength rank and feature importance rank of two machine learning models and also correlation scores. We consider correlation scores higher than zero point 0.8 as significant. For direct ligand model, correlation rank with causal strength rank correlation score is higher than zero point 0.8. So we can see that causal features related to correlated features. And for the following, let's see the Notiers MLP model. Both male and female datasets shows causal features related to correlated features. Beyond this, we can see from these two machine learning models, they are always significantly related with causal strength rank. So machine learning features proxies for causal features. Are the above findings general findings or just are they just special for our created dataset? To make sure validation of causal explainability, we extend our work to multi-domain tabular datasets in this task. This table summarizes basic information for 16 more tabular datasets. They are obtained from OpenML and the UCI machine learning repository, which cover multi-domains such as medical, finance, and banking. We followed the same process of framework for all these datasets. Here, these two findings are we summarized from heart failure datasets. To validate them, we generated the same Spearman correlation table for two causal models for all 16 tabular datasets. From here, we still consider correlation score higher or equal than 0.8 as significant. First is the direct ligand model. Here, star means their p-value is smaller than 0.05, and NA here means causal models didn't identify any causal or effect variables. To summarize this table, we can count how many datasets have significant correlation scores out of 16 datasets. Also, we prepared the same rank correlation table for Notiers MLP model. We also count the number of datasets, so we can have this count summary table to show that for 16 for 11 out of 16 datasets, their GPT and the logistic regression importance features proxies for causal features. However, for both causal model, uh, lower than half number of datasets shows causal features are related to correlation features, which decrease generalizability. Here we summarize the limitation of this work. First, the current analysis focusing primarily on binary outcome variables. For future work, we can extend the proposed framework to handle multi-class outcomes and multiple discrete variables. And second, we only align causal discovery outcomes with feature importance driven from traditional machine learning models. For future work, we should consider more advanced explainable AI models. We addressed the following comments from Thesis proposal defense. First, we cite the clinical papers to show relevant elements between papers. Second, we show likelihood score distribution before and after removing misclassified samples instead of only keep likelihood score distribution. Third, we add a table of hyperparameter tuning for MLP structure, and then we also keep the range of absolute causal strength between 0 and 1 using softmax, and this point shows in all the DAG for male heart failure dataset and the female heart failure dataset. And last, we changed the whole thesis organization to make two objectives balanced. At the end, we summarize our study as following. First, we find out that causal models for nonlinear relationship are preferred over linear models. Second, we reconfirm that correlation does not always imply causation. In heart failure dataset, HCT, RBC are highly correlated with heart failure, but not in causal graph. And for general tabular datasets, only 6 out of 16 tabular datasets support causal features related to correlated features, which is not general, and showing the correlated features are less likely to be in correspondence with causality. We also find out there is strong correlation between GPT and logistic regression in feature importance rank and causal strength rank. We extend, and last point, we extend explainability to machine learning based prediction of diseases with causal relationship. The following are the reference we use in this presentation, and that's all for this presentation. Thank you.